Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk a little bit more about that news that dropped. I believe it was on Friday, maybe on Thursday, I don't remember now, but it dropped a couple of days ago about Jamie Foxx returning as Electro for the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, because it's crazy, like how we never had something like this happen before. Except someone reminded me recently that no, we actually did. J.K. Simmons returned as J. Jonah Jameson for the end credit scene of Spider-Man: Far From Home, which I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But I think this is going to be a little bit different this time around, and I'm going to tell you why, because I have a fan theory that's going to drive into some of these other MCU films, a couple of them anyways, and maybe even some of the Disney Plus shows. So here we go. I think because I have been listening a little bit to some other podcasts and such. I think primarily I got this idea from the John Campea show. I was listening to them, and Robert Meyer Burnett pointed out that if you guys watched the John Campea show, he was a guest on sometime last week when this dropped, that he obviously all these movies connect, but he thinks there's going to be a running theme. I think it's going to be something similar to the Infinity Stones, where some of them would drop in certain movies. I don't think it will be like heavily connected where you have to watch each movie, but I do think some of the movies will be affected by a certain film. For an example, we already know that WandaVision will lead into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So whatever happens in WandaVision will somewhat affect that movie. And I think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness will open up the gates to the multiverse, which I believe is where Jamie Foxx will sort of pop out from. I don't think he'll appear in that movie, but I think whatever is going to happen in that movie will be a result to Jamie Foxx and maybe possibly other characters appearing in Spider-Man 3, the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. That is my theory right now, because we also got word that Loki will somehow fit into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as well. The Loki series is supposed to have Loki time traveling, going through time, and as we learned in Avengers Endgame with the Ancient One, she told the Hulk, Bruce, that that when something changes in that timeline, it goes into a different branch of reality. Now, we know that, you know, Captain America went back and put all the stones in place, although we still don't know how he put the Soul Stone back, because if somebody killed themselves, how do you put it back up in the clouds or whatever? Maybe that's what it is. It's all technology now. Now it's back up in the clouds, just like all our photos and shit. I have no idea. But whatever is going to happen, Loki, I think, is going to be a part of it. With him messing up time, I think that's going to cause some alternate realities to be branched out and made. And I think Doctor Strange and Wanda are going to learn of that. I think whatever is going to happen in WandaVision, I think, is also going to alter reality in some form or another. And I believe, yes, that's how I think they're going to bring back Jamie Foxx as Electro. And, you know, Jamie Foxx, he put up a post on Instagram recently confirming that, yes, he is returning back as Electro, although he won't be blue like he was the last time. But he did post up an image that kind of teased what could happen. And the image had 3 Spider-Mans standing together, looking up in the sky and seeing Electro's face up there. I don't know, 3 Spider-Mans, right? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. I mean, it's possible. He quickly took down the image apparently right after, but it makes you start wondering. I also feel now that if this is true, where my theory is coming from, that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness will branch out to some of these other films, to cause and effect. I'm starting to think now that the Jane Foster we're going to see in Thor Love and Thunder, where she's supposed to become the female Thor, I think that's going to be an alternate reality multiverse version of Jane Foster. I don't think it's going to be the Jane Foster that we know. I'm just speculating here. So, I mean, also let's remember this also. It was confirmed that Evan Peters will appear in the WandaVision series. Now, it's not confirmed who he's playing, but it's interesting that Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver, a version of Wanda's brother, who was played in Age of Ultron by Aaron Taylor Johnson, is going to be appearing in the WandaVision series. Now, maybe he could be playing some other random character, but it is interesting to think about. I mean, the possibilities here with the multiverse, and if you're going to bring back Jamie Foxx, who else can you bring back? Maybe characters from the Fox films. Maybe we could see Ben Affleck come back as Daredevil. Who the hell knows? Maybe Eric Bana, maybe Edward Norton will both come back as the Hulk. I mean, the possibilities right now are crazy to think about. Crazy to think about with the multiverse idea. And it seems like a race with Marvel and DC right now on who's going to get to the multiverse first and who's going to do it the best. So I'm really excited for both. That's what I'm going to say. And is that all I want to say? I also want to point out that I don't think this will affect all the films. I think films like The Eternals and Shang-Chi, I think those two films, Marvel is going to want to make them simple and let people understand those characters on their own with the multiverse situation. But I think the established characters that we are already aware of, I think those are the characters that will play around with the multiverse idea. We'll see. As I said, this is all fan theory on my part, from what I've been listening to from other people and combining it with my own ideas. Like, I didn't hear anybody talk about the Jane Foster thing being a multiverse thing, but it is a possible explanation on how they can pull it off. I know in the comics it's done differently, that Jane Foster gets cancer or something, but let's also remember Thor, I believe, is also killed off, and that's how Jane gets the powers, right? Well, from what I understand, Taika Waititi hinted that no, Chris Hemsworth is still the star of this movie and he's going to stick around. And Chris Hemsworth himself is saying that he's going to stick around for a couple of movies, so they're clearly not going to kill him off. So what could it be? We'll have to wait and see, but the multiverse idea is not a bad idea to think about. So with that being said, guys, comment below. Do you have any theories now that you've had time to think about it? Do you think the multiverse is going to take over the MCU, at least for Phase 4? We know Phase 4 is going to be these group of films that we are aware of and the Disney Plus series that we're aware of. We'll have to wait and see. And until next time, everybody, I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you can. And until next time, take care.